Windows 10 support has ended and your old PC or laptop cannot run Windows 11 because of the hardware requirements. This is my 15-year-old PC running Windows 10 and I replaced with Linux Mint and it feels like a brand new computer. In this video, I will show you the complete process of installing Linux Mint on old hardware. Before installing Linux Mint on your old PC, make sure you back up all your important data because everything on the drive will be erased. In my case, I have backed up everything and I'm good to go. The only requirement for this video is 8 GB or higher USB drive to create a bootable disk with Linux Mint. Then go ahead and open your web browser and navigate into Linux Mint website. Mint is available in different editions, and I recommend the Cinnamon edition. Go ahead and click the download button and choose a mirror closest to your location and download the ISO image. You can use Rufus Etcher to create a bootable USB. Now for this video, I'm using Rufus, which works perfectly. Once the ISO is downloaded, go ahead and connect your USB drive to the computer and open Rufus. Then import the ISO image. For the partition scheme, I'm choosing GPT. If you're not sure what to choose, open Run Dialog and type msinfo32 and look for the BIOS mode. If it says UV, use GPT. If it says Legacy, use MBR. Then click Start to flash the ISO image to the USB drive. This process may take some time depending on the writing speed of your USB drive. Now once it's done, restart your computer and enter the BIOS. Then change the boot order and select the USB drive as the boot device. You may also need to enable USB boot. And for this PC, I'm disabling Secure Boot. Then save the settings and your system should boot into the Linux Mint Live USB. For some reason, my PC is having issues with the Ethernet and I'm going to use Wi-Fi adapter instead and connect to Wi-Fi. Before installing Linux and replacing your current operating system, I recommend testing the live USB to make sure everything works perfectly. Now go ahead and check your Wi-Fi, Ethernet, sound, display, and other hardware. Now once you're comfortable with the interface, you can start the installation. Now go ahead and open the Linux Mint installer from the desktop. Then choose your system language and keyboard layout. And enable this option to install multimedia codecs. You can also install Mint alongside Windows for a dual boot setup. If you want to see how to do that, check the link down below. For now, I'm choosing Erase Disk and install Linux Mint. This will erase the current operating system and all the files on the drive, so make sure your data is backed up. Then choose your time zone and create a user account and password and start the installation. This will take some time. Now sit back and relax. Once the installation is complete, click Restart. When you see this message, go ahead and remove the USB drive and press Enter to boot into Linux Mint. Then log in with your password and voila, we are inside Linux Mint. You can use this welcome screen to perform some post-installation tasks such as updating the system, installing applications, enabling the firewall, and much more. I also made a video on the things you should do after installing Linux Mint. Now check the link in the description down below. Now let's increase the font scaling because everything looks very small on this PC. Go ahead and open settings and go to font settings and increase the scaling factor to 1.6. Now go ahead and open terminal and update the package list and install htop. And this is the idle RAM usage of Linux Mint, which is less than 1 GB. And that's pretty much it. If you have old PC, try Linux Mint from the USB drive first. If everything works very well, install it and use your old PC as your daily driver instead of throwing it away. If you like this video, hit that like button and subscribe to see more content. Thank you so much for watching. This has been KSK Royal. I will see you in the next one.